So, highly anticipated topic to discuss here at our channel. One thing that I really like to talk about in my free spare time and think about is the situation in the world. And one of the more interesting topics to discuss about is the male loneliness epidemics. Let's hear out what's up with that and give our input on it as well.
I regret to inform you the men are not okay. That's right, folks, the men are not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education.
Generation of American men giving up on college. I just feel lost. The number of men enrolled at 2 and 4-year colleges have fallen behind women by record levels in a widening education gap across the US. Womp womp. Well, I can relate to that for sure. Especially now, think about it as this. I made my studies here in Europe, right? Where the prices are more affordable. Still, I had to get out of my country because the education level here is below the expected global level, let's just call it like that. And I still have student loans that I have to pay. And every time I think about them, I feel like I'm having a stroke. Now imagine that times 10. Because that's what's America all about. Debts for students to have for their whole life. Hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. That's insane. That's disgusting. And I cannot condone people that feel lost, because really, if you look at your bank account and you see minus 100,000, you're gonna feel lost as hell.
No money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to get ahead. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't have gone for that, man. If you really want to be liked by women, instead of increasing your height, which I understand why, right? There is a stereotype of 6-inch 6 figures and whatever the 6 thing is. 6 woman, I don't know. You could improve, I don't know, your humor, right? Your social skills. I think that will actually be more optimal for people, because I've seen a bunch of fat people, a bunch of like tiny people, like, let's just call them like Oompa Loompas. They have banger girlfriends. Why? Because I think the most important aspect when you're going for girlfriends is have very solid social skills, like solid as hell, like above average by far. This is the most important aspect, and people try to go for this route where they're taking risks such as breaking their own bones and increasing their height. It feels a bit too forced, man. And but hey, I cannot completely condone it. Obviously, I understand why you would do it, because there's like also women that do Brazilian butt lifting, and what about those, right? I mean, I don't condone those either, so it's fine in my eyes. Still, I feel like I know why you're doing this. It's not because you want to be a basketball player, it's you want to attract ladies, and I think you would have had to spend less resources to achieve a better result if you would have chosen a better direction, in my eyes, which is social skills primarily. Learn to socialize properly with people. Trust me, it will go a long way.
Rods into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening to AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society...
Those always crack me up. There's a bunch of those. There's one with Master Chief tells you masturbation is bad. Listen to Master Chief, my friend. You know what he's saying, man. He's a wise guy. He's fighting alien invasions. I mean, hey, what do you do in your free time? I don't know. You gotta listen to the guy with the gun.
That was built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes, and if you have a problem with that, tune into...
Hey, you don't see me complaining. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Thank you for the content. I'm gonna farm it like it should be, right? We're gonna collect the crop. for today's
to literally anything else.
well,
Men are in a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares. And the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me.
for sure. For sure, bro. Like the alpha male boot camps are going crazy nowadays. And don't. I'm in Romania. You think I'm not aware of the GOAT, Mr. Andrew Tate? Why do you think he went so popular, but ballistically popular in today's day and age? Huh? It's because his main audience is like how do I put it? Desperate men. A group of people that are usually, in my eyes, especially in today's age and in Western countries, is not taken into consideration properly. I mean, hey,
I'm different.
they gotta go somewhere.
Before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor.
Sponsors.
Today's sponsor is Holzkern. Holzkern is a young Austrian company that designs unique crafted watches and jewelry made from all natural materials. Their high-quality timepieces come in various designs for both men and women, making them the perfect gift for any occasion. They're a great blend of
Watches.
function and fashion, and overall I just think they look very
for
classy,
sure, I agree with
especially
that,
the men's watch collection.
watches
I was pretty
are,
impressed with the
make
silver
you look
casing
way
and
more
blue marble
business
dial of the
fashion
naturalist
type of
watch, which made
guy,
for a
very
great gift for
mature.
my boyfriend. He especially
Whenever
loved
I go
the
to
casual yet
parties,
stylish appearance,
put
making it
one
an
of those,
ideal choice to wear both
you're
at
ready to
work
slay.
and at home. I'm also really happy with the watch I picked out. It's made from black and white marble and features a nice black leather bracelet
Hopefully
that just
they're not
feels so
Rolex
comfy. They also
price
create
tags.
elegantly crafted
Okay.
earrings, very unique handbags, sunglasses, and necklaces.
Wow.
Like this rose marble elevation necklace.
Wow.
It makes a really memorable and unique gift for a loved one. All of their products have a 24-month warranty, and ordering online
If you want a good gift for your loved one, you gotta do an analysis on their behavior psychology and figure out what they like through that. And if they're into clocks, which a bunch of guys do, I mean, most of my friends, they're talking about Rolexes like it's no tomorrow, and they're actually into collecting watches and stuff like that. So for them, yeah, for sure, you can go ahead and get a subscription for these guys, I guess.
Online is super easy with free shipping to the US and most EU countries within 2 to 5 days. So if you
Not
want to
bad.
get yourself a good
Better than
quality watch
AliExpress.
and support the channel,
2
I highly
months.
recommend checking out their store and clicking the link in the description below.
Takes 2
Use my
months for a
special
package
code
to come from
SHOE15
AliExpress.
at
Fucking
checkout
insane.
that will give you 15% off for all products store-wide. So go to the link down below and choose your own unique piece
Man,
of
man, man.
nature. Thank
Talk
you,
about
Holzkern,
man.
for sponsoring this video,
Please,
and thank
lady.
you, the viewer, as always, for not skipping the ad.
Why are men and boys struggling? And what should we do about it?
A few
Why are we struggling? I wonder. I'm just looking at my bank account and I see minus 6 figures out there. Oh. That's the first sign that men are struggling. And that's a big sign.
Few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are more lonely and single than ever before. But it's not just men. The women and children, too. It's predicted 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as
Look, I'm not against woman empowerment. And as long as the women in question, they want to be single, I mean, go ahead, right? But if some of them are involuntary, then there's an issue, right? There's an issue, there's a point to look at and analyze how this problem is occurring in order to try to find a solution. Because let me tell you, if this issue is gonna be left alone, it's just gonna increase until it's out of anyone's control, right? And men that are basically what this leads to is frustrated men. And one thing you should be afraid of is a bunch like a big group of frustrated men, because this, I mean, have you seen Fight Club? What happens at the end, okay? And why does it happen? Why Fight Club is happening? Because people are frustrated. Men, more specifically, are frustrated. And the reason for that, in my eyes, is why men cannot get a girlfriend. Why men are having issues getting friends in general. That is tied, in my opinion, to socializing, okay? Their capabilities of socializing are being atrophied by what, you may ask? Technology, okay? The only thing I see as a difference from today's day and age and 50 years ago is the rise of technology, okay? And you may ask, what does that have to do with the social skills we have? Well, in my eyes, technology provides a extremely convenient alternative to socialization, to real life socialization, which is a required skill for people to acquire friendships. You have to go out there, you have to go out of your comfort zone. Trust me, you won't find friends if you're just staying in your room and chilling. You gotta put yourself out there. Does that sound like shit? It is. Why? Because there's an alternative to that, and that's playing video games. And let me tell you, as a guy that likes video games, I can see why people are struggling. Because I'm thinking, oh, should I go there and get fucked by people when I say some random shit at a random time, and everybody's gonna be like, eek, this guy is an idiot? Or do I want to bang some people in League of Legends? That's an obvious answer in my eyes. That's an obvious answer.
As they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen
I like how they like, women having issues. Oh man, that's a big deal. Oh, men having issues? Look at those idiots.
to speaks very derogatory.
Right.
Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society.
Oh no, she brought the word society. Yes, there's an issue with society because society is not actively trying to figure this issue out. Instead, what they do, oh, just put it in the back. Don't look at it. Don't look at this issue. Nobody cares about that. We gotta focus on other bullshit. Let's be honest here, man. This is a big issue, man. There's a bunch of people that are frustrated from a young age. These people will not like society. Let me tell you this. Do you want to be in a society full of people that don't give a shit about each other? Because that's what's gonna happen. Disincentivize people that don't care about each other, don't care about improving the world. And hey, if you want that, sure, it's okay at the individual level, but when that number increases at a macro level, when the percentage of your population is like 50% of people that don't give a shit anymore, trust me, it's gonna be a big issue, and at the point it's gonna be very hard to control.
Kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic. According to several different articles, I love how that's my source, I read about it on the internet, research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness.
Why? Coming back to my point, higher economy, higher degree of technologic development, which means higher degree of alternatives that people have for activities in general, in the spare time. And when you compare dating, for example, with playing video games, it's I'm sorry, it's not even close.
This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori.
Hikikomori. Nits,
Did I say that
basically.
right? Basically, postmodern hermits. Mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today,
Hey, what's the alternative in Japan also? Oh, you wanna work yourself until Logan Paul is gonna make a video of you in the forest, if you catch my drift. Ch, what a wonderful life you're gonna live if you go with society's suggestion. You're gonna be a happy go-getter, am I right? You're gonna be like those guys in the metro that are coming from work so exhausted that people are feeling bad for them and giving them bottles of water. It's a thing there. It's a thing there. That's how bad it is. Oh no, but Hikakamori. Oh no, but these guys are the real issue.
Today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011.
Wow.
It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society.
Wow. I'm sure this woman looking into my eyes, looking into the soul of my heart, is gonna make me want to go back and work myself to tire until I show up in a Logan Paul's video. That's what I wanna do with my life, right? I mean, look at this. How can you say no to these puppy eyes? It reminds me of that cat from Shrek, right? Puss in Boots. This is what you offer people? This is your solution? It's not gonna work, man. Give them better prospects. Give them better, I don't know, job perspectives. Don't treat them like absolute trash. Huh? Have you thought about that? No, instead, let's make a video about a woman looking cute. Like I cannot Google something more 10 times better than this in a second.
So basically, if you want to know America's future, look no further than Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology. RIP to the king.
Like I said, technology. Obviously, this is the highest factor that you see. Like, what's the difference between 50 years ago when people were extremely social and nowadays? There's only one thing. And it's this thing. And it's also PCs. And it's also tablets. And it's also the internet. Look, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're too good, actually.
Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, buy a new microphone, and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women?
That's a good question. Especially when dates, everybody knows they are like, if you want to have a shitty time, as a guy, I don't know, as a woman, oh, you get a free meal, that's cool. Oh, you're getting some attention, oh, that's cool. But as a guy, one of the most, like, if you, like, top most self-harming activities you could do, I think up there is dating, for real. Only horror stories I hear. Only horror stories. No, oh, we watched the sunset, and we took a Coke, and we had a laugh, and it was nice. That was it. No. It was always like, oh yeah, I got ghosted, and she told me to never call her, and thank you for the meal, loser type of conversations. No, fuck this shit.
And when I
We gotta be like, men in dating are perceived like as the jesters at a king's court. You gotta dance when she says you gotta dance, boy. You gotta dance. You feel like a dog, man.
I can just tap, Google big boob and get 2 million results. Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5.
Let's go, OnlyFans. Booyah. And don't worry, it's gonna get better. When AI girlfriends are gonna be introduced, and I'm not talking the shit we got now. I'm talking about with a body that looks completely humanoid. That's when this shit is gonna get away. I'm sorry. Fuck dating.
Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend?
Not on phone.
We're so
Not on phone.
dating apps really are
Those
the
are lame.
great Satan, and I'm convinced they've
Have you heard the
completely
story of the guy that killed himself because he was talking to Daenerys Targaryen, which she kind of like gaslight him into doing so? You gotta be an idiot, to be fair. You gotta be an idiot. Like, he was young, yes, but still. Daenerys Targaryen says she wants you to kill yourself for her? Come on. We will get demonetized for this. Let me put like an emote. Take this out. Jamie, take this out.
broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky.
Even
and
pickier than before, let me
naturally
tell
we
you
are
that.
Pickier. You know, we're the ones who carry the babies.
Makes sense.
At least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the
The dating apps. Have you seen dating apps statistics? Like, I've seen so many YouTube videos of them so far. All of them showcase the fact that a man, he gets like 1 week after date matching with 10,000 women. Meanwhile, a woman doesn't have to even click on the app and she gets plus 99 matches in like less than an hour. And she doesn't even have to be hot. Trust me, I've seen it. It's sad.
Commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s.
I thank God on this one because I'm not part of this group. Like, getting a girlfriend, to me personally, is not even remotely close to having a group of friends. That's way more important in my eyes. And having people that you can rely on to hang out with you, especially when you're a teenager, when you're a young adult, if you don't have that, first of all, you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna go into echo chambers. You're gonna have some disgusting takes. Nobody's gonna be there to bring you back to reality, right? Because yeah, I have some takes, but my friends thankfully are down to earth, cool guys that let me know, okay, it's time to chill, man. It's time to chill. You're going too crazy. You're going on the road that normal people are not on it. And they kind of balance you out. They put you together. You help each other. You need to have this kind of people around, and it's gonna be a lot of work. Let me tell you, getting my group of friends that I have currently, which I feel like it's out there like top 10 best group of friends in the world. I'm sorry guys if you don't have that. Feels sad for you, but do you think I got them like this? No, was a lot of work, a lot of compromises from both sides, and I think at the end of it we reach a very good state of friendship. Well, it wasn't like 10 minutes and we're good. So yeah, I imagine it's gonna be extremely hard for the newer generation, especially with all the, like I said, technological alternatives, to be like, oh yeah, I can put myself out there and get fucked for the first 10 times, which will feel horrible. Or I cannot do that and just have fun right now, playing a video game, looking on Twitter, or at some degenerate spouting nonsense. Maybe I'm the one that will spout the nonsense. Hey, who knows?
1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships.
That's sad.
Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts
Romanian.
I believe that every man is born without any value at all.
Icon.
I think that the world's never going to think
This
you're
guy,
important
I
unless
think,
you
is
make
the most
yourself
popular guy in
important.
Romania.
And recently,
for
a
the
new
last
study came out
5
about how
years.
young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdem, leftist, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely...
Yeah, let's bring it to politics. Look, man, there's a reason why people are, like men especially, are not inclined to go left. It's not because right have an like Andrew Tate is right in my eyes. I don't think he has any political affiliation with any of the sides, but it's because left are actively trying to push them away. They say, you want to be leftist? Oh, you men and crying? Get out of here. Get out of here. You goddamn, you in a patriarchy, okay? Shut up, you privileged prick.
If ever talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you.
I don't know what issue people have with Jordan Peterson. I see in Andrew Tate, of course, because he's an extremist when it comes to, women and being very hateful towards them with his views, at least, even though he constantly says, oh no, he constantly preaches, no, he really loves women, yes. Meanwhile, he says a woman should never cheat, but a man, though, he gotta do be cheating. That's basically his job, really. Come on.
Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't.
Like I mentioned, the right doesn't even talk to them. It's more like the left just... The right doesn't give a fuck. The left, though, actively pushes them away.
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful.
Schizo alert. Schizo spoiler. Let's go. This is
Me
my
when I
favorite.
lie.
Oh, come on!
LMAO, cry about it. Boo f***ing who.
You hear it, like, this is just makes me mad every time. She reads this, I'm like,
Oh no, poor widow men having problems. Boo
wow. Then they start crying when their political when Kamala doesn't get chosen because all the men don't want to pick her. Oh wow, who would have seen that coming?
who. Grow the f*** up then. Have men considered being smarter?
Oh, I gotta do you one better. Have men considered not being predators? Is gonna be the next one?
I'm enjoying all these sad little moids and their
Moids.
sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a
Wow.
personal problem. Is
Wow. Who of you bet that these people, mostly women, they just hate men? Why they hate men? Bad experiences with them, trauma, unresolved trauma.
the lack of compassion for men in the room with us right now
Wow, and they show up like this thumbnail of the psychopath children that kill their parents, right? That's the apparently that what they're trying to say is this is the average man.
maybe men are just not good people then. I'm
Sure, for sure. I mean, look at me. I'm a man. That means I'm a criminal by default, right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Everybody saw it coming, right? But if I was a woman, I was a queen. Yes, indeed.
so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem.
Yeah, no, that's not an
their
issue. If it
fifis
was
are
a
not my
female, yes, but a
responsibility,
man-
and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their
We're
shit
in a
together as
patriarchy,
human
guys.
beings. Grow the up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps.
How can you say that, bro? Obviously, I can see some of them being indeed bigots, but the way you try to make it look like all of them are, when it's obvious that some of them are desperate to get a girlfriend. I know that. Why would I know that? Oh well. Oh well. Let's ask me from myself from 15 years ago. I was extremely desperate to get a girlfriend, super desperate. Why? Because of the social pressure, especially here in Romania. I don't know about America, I don't know about Netherlands, but here in Romania everybody will like friend group, parents, grandparents, all types of relatives, teachers, like driver license teacher also for some reason. All of them are asking you the same question. They start off with what's your name, and the next question, do you have a girlfriend? It's insane. You cannot go around without being constantly spammed with the question, do you not have a girlfriend? And every time you say no, they look at you like you're some sort of like the missing link in the human evolution lineup. Like they found the missing link. You're a subspecimen basically, and that's how I felt for a long time. And it's goddamn sad to see. And you're telling me I'm a bigot for that? Because I look at Andrew Tate. Believe me, if I was 15 years younger, I would be looking at this guy and I'm like, yeah, this guy knows what's up.
Helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL.
This guy know what he up. I mean, look at him. He looks like a goddamn twink.
Well, cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators.
Yes, might be true. But have you considered that out of this, like let's say, okay, 90% are men, 10% are women, okay? Let's go by this logic. Have you forgotten that out of this, let's say there's 100 million crimes worldwide, right? And 90% of them are men, as you put it that way. I'm reluctant to think about, I think it's less, like 80% anyway. So you're telling me out of what is 100 million in retrospect to how many is the population of the world male-wide? 4.5 billion? 5 billion? So you're telling me, yes, 90% of 100 million, which, I don't know, is 1% of men, 1% of people are criminals, and out of 90% out of that 1% are men. So you're telling me 0.9 of criminals are, of human beings are men and criminals. Cool! It's still 0.9%, idiot!
We should just get rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. By the way, you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah blah blah, back in the day? Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to be.
Yeah, that if you watch Andrew Tate, you're a fascist. That's why I choose Andrew Tate, because I wanna go out there and kill myself some people from a country that I don't wanna specify. That's what I wanna do. Big brain for. Well, you for sure are autistic and socially awkward, because if you were in the right mindset, you would not even conceive this leap in logics to the point you reach across the rainbow and you're in a Delulu land.
Become a fascist because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem.
Wow. this guy, this guy, he's going for it, man. He wants some women attention. He gotta say, yeah, I'm the problem. Ladies, I'm the problem. Anyway, any takers? Any takers? Pull his pants down, any takers?
I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason
helping
young
at
men
all.
flock to
Not
alt-right
helping at all.
MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry.
And obviously the response is like, what? You're tripping, bro.
But how is respect women brain-dead?
Let's be honest, you don't say that. You say, I don't give a fuck about you. Patriarchy. That's the words you use. Gaslight. All these bullshit buzzwords. That's the thing you say. And then when this argument comes up, you say, actually, we just meant by what that saying, you should be shut down on the street if you're a man, and men are criminals. I actually meant respect woman.
Advice. What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rape.
We gotta go there. We gotta go there. Every man is a criminal, apparently. Every man you were born with a penis, you're done for, man. You are categorized as a criminal.
Rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends or community. I feel suicidal. Have you considered not raping? Act like a decent fucking human being. It's not hard. Is brain dead advice? Brain dead advice like get consent and don't be a Nazi.
Ah, yes. Let's bring in the nice buzzword Nazi into the conversation. Cool, cool, cool. We gotta have that. We gotta have that. Apparently, being lonely means the equivalent of being a Nazi. The Nazis. Do you understand? When I'm saying Nazi, I'm thinking about some horror shit like the doctor that makes experiments on Jews type of bullshit. This guy is using it to... Calm down. These guys are delusional. My patient is being tested.
And women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like...
Kids, don't be racist.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet.
Okay.
3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist.
Yeah, I'm sure your kids are gonna love growing up under your tutelage. I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna fucking hate you. The moment they turn 18, they're gonna be out of the house, being constantly told what not and what to do and what not to do, what to say and not to say. And I'm sure you like at some degree it's fine, right? But you're probably gonna be going ahead of the curve and just tell them to not say anything because
Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their
Nazis.
issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be, become a liberal? Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock to the MRA movement because they're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights. Like, no shit.
Oh wow! We got some big brain IQ over here. Big brain IQ plays. I'm sure you're gonna give. If you were playing League of Legends, you get promoted to bronze with that attitude.
Let's be
and
honest.
mindset.
Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around. And I don't blame any woman for just saying, no
The knight in shining armor. Don't worry, my lady. I got you. This guy, he knows what's up. These guys. Oh, typical nice guy, am I right?
thanks. Oh my god, dude. This is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me. Just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness? Jerking off. As a man, I'll say this.
Hey, he's not wrong. But the way he puts it out there is kind of disrespectful, to be honest.
Sit down, shut up, and beat one out. You'll feel better. I promise.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off. Just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed.
I don't care what Batman says, man. He doesn't know what's up.
in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend.
Sure, we feel very entitled to a girlfriend. Yes, yes. We are Nazis. We are fascists. What else? What else you got there for us?
No, you sexist freak. When one side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sex.
They want a girlfriend. They don't think they're entitled to it. Obviously, I've spoken to people that are mentally deranged men that feel that they're entitled, and those are, I think about the curve. They are the outliers. They're the nuts jobs. The problem is that we are all put together in the same category as these motherfuckers.
Sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they just come on here and try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice
jerk,
issue.
I get it.
Oh, trust me, men are still kicking the.
Oh, kicking the bucket by. Apologies. Kicking the bucket. Oh, you mean dying? Oh, you know what a good solution for Male Loneliness Epidemic is? You find a rope, you put it around the neck, call Logan Paul beforehand, and make sure he films it while you do it. He's gonna get some content out of you.
bucket. And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like just to be a liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely.
Oh
it's
no.
not our job to
Telling
educate.
myself to, kick the bucket. Dismiss? I don't know about that. I think that's even more. That's worse than that.
them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it.
I hate when they do that. I hate when they associate me with the issues that people had 1,000 years ago. I'm not the one that created it. I wasn't part of that society. Why am I the one to take the blame for it? That's ridiculous.
We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being
I am an animal. Solve my own issues. Shut the fuck up. Oh, you're having problems? When I need to do my job, yes, I gotta help everyone. But when somebody gotta help me, suddenly you hear crickets.
of other people concern me? Leftist, by the way. It's all systemic issues and societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a
Oh yes, let's bring the patriarchy. Now I am the issue.
wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy.
Oh no, who created the patriarchy? I wonder.
Solve your own problems and leave women alone.
Yes, it's your own issue, man. Shut the fuck up. I think I'm not asking women in general to solve it. I'm asking society. I'm talking about governmental society, governmental programs to be created to solve this issue because this is getting out of hand. Education system should do something about the way children are educated to avoid this type of thinking, avoid this type of scenarios.
These people rightly
At least do this. Don't make getting a girlfriend like I have this issue. I don't want to live in a society that I'm constantly reminded that I'm a subhuman species for not getting a goddamn vagina to walk around alongside me. That's disgusting. That's disgusting that I need to constantly remind people that getting a girlfriend is not the end all to be all. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? You're pissing me off. Just remind people from a young age, this is just a thing, okay? It's nothing special. It's nothing amazing. You're being brainwashed into thinking that you are not complete as a human being without a partner. That's fake news.
mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's wild. And it's kind of like both sides are telling men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but one is like, I'll show you how, and the other is like,
this school gave me kind of a purpose.
Welcome to 42 Heilbronn.
Okay.
Fuck off. And when they're not telling men to,
Yeah, man. When you hear someone you talk to, you complain about your issues, and they tell you to fuck off, you just don't want to bother anymore. It happened to me a few times where I complain about my work situation and stuff like that, and they were like, "Boo fucking who?" And I was like, you know what? You got it, bro. You go ahead and talk to yourself.
straight up
Because I'm not
fuck
dealing
off.
with that
They're
shit.
giving the 200 IQ answer that nobody has ever heard before. Just show your emotions, bro. And I'm not dismissing this.
Show your emotions, bro. Show your emotions, bro. Are you tripping? You're not gonna show your emotions, especially when you were trained from a young age that showing them is a sign of weakness as a man. Oh, you wanna cry? Women say, "Oh, I have a sister." She says, "Oh, all my friends, they're so happy when their boyfriends are talking about therapy, talking about going to therapy, but they would not say, I am very happy that my boyfriend talks about his emotions around me. She just saying, I like that my boyfriend goes and talk to someone else about his emotions, because I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to be his psychologist. But hey, if I start crying, he gotta be there for me. He gotta be there for me, or else he's out of the door. It's stupid shit, man.
This problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, faggot. And studies have shown that
Gay.
men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And
I mean, hey, the homies, they also being told from a young age, don't show your emotions around women, don't show us around your homies. It is what it is. Don't do it, man. You will never benefit from showing your emotions to nobody, apart of maybe from your family members, even then, depending on your situation. For me, I'm thankful to my homies because they kind of understanding, and my family as well. But my case is gonna be not the same for you. Just chill. If you're crying, I'm sorry, maybe pay 200 euros for fucking therapy session. Sure. Everybody gotta be an Elon Musk, am I right? To get the necessary tools to feel good about themselves. Look, there are solutions out there. In my opinion, best we can do is find a friend group to chill with. That will help so much.
And can you blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke?
UK bidders go woke. Study finds 3/4 of tradesmen discuss their feelings with colleagues, while 2/3 Sean and friends breakfast have said they are history buffs.
To open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men are socialized
Just sad.
to believe strength, dominance, and stoicism are behaviors of a real
Stoicism, yes. Dominance, I don't like that. Strength, yes. In certain aspects, I mean. Stoicism, I think, is the most important. Like minding your own business and, being of help to other people, being reliable. That's always good to have. And provide the pearls of wisdom, trying to, enlighten people's life rather than putting them down. Problem is with the part with dominance, I don't like that because that kind of goes against, being reliable and helping other people. It's more like putting them down so you can, step on their corpse type of bullshit. I don't agree with that part.
man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems affecting men.
There are, but nobody cares about them. That's the issue we're talking about. And
Now, while a lot of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomena. Toxic masculinity has
new
existed.
phenomenon. So what she's trying to say, what factor is kind of correlated to this, considering this is a new phenomenon, right? Technology. I'm sorry, I'm gonna spam this word like it's some degenerate woman spamming gaslight. I'm gonna spam technology.
forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress, Barbie movie, blah 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 blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s.
No,
But social
for
media
sure.
did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the
For Romania, I'm not sure exactly what the housing prices are, but I've heard some bad news also here. But in Netherlands, where I've been there for the past 8 years, hoo-wee! They're very close to American standards, and that also shows with the price of housing. Like €500,000, man. Can you think about that, bro? Can you tell a young guy that he should be hopeful when the house price is like, you gotta be literally a millionaire to survive in today's day and age? You gotta be a millionaire to not have hundreds of thousands of euros of debt to own a house. It's like, what is hopeful for the newer generation?
wealth inequality is worse
Hey, AI girlfriends.
than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity.
Look, I get what you're saying, but the way you say it sounds so bad. You're stupid.
Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal when? Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and
Unless you're a woman. Unless you're a woman.
longer while wages have been stagnant, men have been dropping out of college like flies, and what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion,
There's the logic. There's the logic. Now, where is technology coming in? She should have mentioned the technology part, because I think also technology plays a very big role into this. You have all this society bullshit, and then you have video games and movies and series. Do you really want to go the route of literally eating shit non-stop out of your 20 wings bucket of shit, yum yum yum, every day, just to get a thank you for your service from a random stranger on the seats? Or grind some League of Legends game and start being toxic? I would prefer that, to be honest. Like, my ideal life, like, after hearing all this, complaints and everything, I am antisocial. Let's be fair here. I want to be a hikakamori. To be fair with you, society has failed me. I'm gonna be up and I don't give a shit, a damn rat, an ass rats about society. That's the reality. I'm one of these people. I don't care about that. I don't want to I don't care about getting a girlfriend. I'm not lonely. I have good friends. Now they're gonna get girlfriends and all that. So there's gonna be I'm in a difficult period right now. But still, I have a wonderful family. I want to chill with them. I don't want to work. And look at me. I'm streaming. The irony.
leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
Like I mentioned, they're hostile towards us. They're just staring us with retards. Why would you want to talk to someone that literally hates you? You don't. You don't bother them. You say, okay, this guy hates me, go next.
The question of whether or not the
Oh, check this guy. I'm sure he's gonna share some pearls of wisdom.
hashtag online left is enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like, men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering.
Where the patriarchy buzzword is inside your speech, huh? You gotta bring also that to your word salad.
It's assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos.
again with this every man is a criminal because 90% of crimes are man related. Again, what percentage of crimes are compared to the total population of men globally? Just put the percentage in that regard and then we'll talk. If you're telling me that 50% of global crimes, like, no, 50% of the population worldwide is indulging into crimes, then that's a big issue because you're like 5 billion, how much is it? 4.5 billion of the overall population are criminals, and out of those people 90% of men, which is like 4 billion, then there's an issue. But if you're talking about 100 million people being criminals globally, in retrospect, yeah, that sounds bad, but in reality that's a 0.01% or a 1% at most in terms of, sample size. Oh, out of 5 billion 100 millions are criminals. Okay, now I understand from the perspective of a woman that she gotta be, especially with social media, it's like, the fear of going into an airplane and the airplane exploding, right? Or some malfunction happening. You have this perception that every airplane is gonna have a malfunction and you're always tripping. Same with men. It's very risky. I have a sister and she complains to me that she cannot afford to take risks because you fuck up once, it's over for her. I get it. And I feel this situation needs to be fixed. Man should be taught to be less desperate. Desperation is not good. Desperation is gonna help you. It's gonna put you in a bad place. It's a bad mindset to have. You're not gonna get no girlfriend. Trust me, with desperation. Chill out. Take it easy. Focus on things you like, enjoy, and it's not the end of the world not getting a girlfriend. I get it. If people keep spamming with you with you're a monkey because you don't have a girlfriend, just tell them to fuck off.
Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe you should have less stuff and other people should have more.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own
No, just a guy with mental health issues.
a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not...
Yeah, they say that, but they don't execute it upon it. That's the issue also. So in the end, you're just getting bamboozled by both sides.
Not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men
At least they don't tell you to fuck off, okay?
something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this Discord comes up, there's people like, we need a leftist Andrew Tate. We need masculine role models on the left. But the fact is, it's hard for progressives to organically appeal to men, because a large part of progressivism is oppressive hierarchies, and men are oppressors. Making progressivism look appealing to young men is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on
I mean, if it's not beneficial to them, why would they go for it? It's just simple logic, you know. A human being, a creature will always go for the things that will benefit it rather than not. I mean, straight up.
on Twitter.
If you try to sell me progressivism, tell me what I'm gonna get out of it, right? And if you telling me what I'm gonna get out of it is less rights, why would I do that?
As always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men
Pick me girls. Any pick me girls in chat?
and lefty content, and I'll put some
The equivalent of simps for men is pick me for girls.
links to some
That's a
below.
good
I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend watching. It's much better than...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your
That's how it
personal
is.
politics. How do we make the left more appealing to
Okay, how do we get them? I get it. It sounds super stupid. It sounds manipulative. But do something at least. Like, how do we get them? And the execution of how do we get them is horrendous.
men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just like evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. We knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people wanna.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the shit show. As in the Excel shit show, okay? That's how it is, man. It's not only flowers and football games and fucking with my boys. It's a lot of bullshit as well. Like that's how
and to
human
have
is.
people want to talk to us and to have a community, and then you
Yeah, you don't have that shit. We have at least less opportunities for that. You gotta really try hard. As a woman, no. At least in Western countries. I'm talking about that in that context.
transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that
They don't give a fuck about some random NPC, let me tell you that. Especially a man random NPC. You are nobody. You gotta make something out of yourself. Do you really want to do that though? For a society that would not give a fuck about you unless you I don't want to go there.
they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher.
I mean, for sure, man. Being constantly told that you don't matter, being constantly told that you need to put yourself out there, and nothing you do right now is worth it unless you bowling. It's just sad. Being constantly told that you're not a man unless you make 6 figures. Being constantly told that you are garbage because you're not socially gifted. Being constantly told that you're an idiot every time you don't say the appropriate word at the appropriate time with the appropriate tonality and appropriate body language. It's horrible. Being always in the shadow of other people that kind of got the gist of it, and you feel like an NPC for the last 10 years, regardless of the effort you put. Being constantly berated and bullied by others because they saw that you're not replying the way you should reply in certain contexts, and they take advantage of you.
Men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow.
But hey, only women got issues. Man though, I mean, it's a patriarchy out there. Patriarchy right there. You can't give a fuck about those guys.
But even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem because, first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like everyone else. I've talked about this before, but a lot of men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are...
It's been like that for millennials, okay? Men are, at least that's how we were taught, the providers, the guys that have it all figured out, emotion control, and all that. But at the end of it all, we're just a bunch of children that try to make it out in this world. That's at least how I feel. And the fact is, we are all trying to survive here in this fucking garbage ass planet. And through all the contexts that some motherfuckers created that we don't agree with, but we gotta work by those rules. Okay?
Are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for, they get into findom or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore.
That's true. That's true. And it's not only that, is the purposes that before were very easily attainable, like having a family, having a well-maintained job, having a house. Those are dreams nowadays. Just dreams. Far away delusions. Because you're not going to get those 90% of the time. Price increase, technological issues, societal economies, all of that works against you, basically. So now you gotta lower already your extremely low standards to get an even lower degree of them.
Whether a job...
And you gotta accept that. Otherwise, you know, there's always the kicking the bucket opportunities like Mr. Genius previously mentioned in one of the posts, one of those big brain geniuses.
Or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a woman or family to protect and take care of.
Don't go for that. Trust me, waste of time. Waste of time. Yeah, you might get the lottery ticket for a woman that is normal and doesn't fucking control your everyday behavior. Nah, it's gonna happen. Most women are emotionally unstable, to say the least, and you gotta go through so many of relationships that, you know, you're gonna lose interest eventually. And that's before that, you gotta have the training art. You see, you gotta be socially gifted. So if you're autistic like I was, good luck. You gotta get 10 years of training art before you even get accepted by one lady that she has obviously mental issues, because her training arc did never start.
Provide for. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life is a...
Yeah, this guy, Romania. No. Look, he's a funny guy, but also, let's be honest.
Man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute...
Is he wrong? Is he wrong with those statements? Most of his statements are bullshit, but these ones, I feel like there is common sense.
Audacity to act shocked that Andrew Tate is scooping these guys up after a decade of lol male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years, and even now you just want to recruit them, not help them. And that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left. Men, listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question. Why do you think male loneliness has been increasing?
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat myself just to summarize. Why is it happening? Main reason, technology. Okay? Technology, first of all, showcases this issue, while before this would not be as apparent because the data would not be there to begin with, because not a lot of people are on the internet, number one. Number two, technology provided alternatives to dating, meeting friends, etc., which are extremely more convenient. And we as humans, we tend to choose the most efficient way to spend our time with, and technology is an extremely efficient way to do so. And yeah, those are the two factors. The technology it basically showcases that technology is the main reason that we are going in that direction. And despite all of those reasons, I feel like society is looking at it and just scrubbing them around. I think a third reason is the fact that society doesn't give a shit about this at all. At all. They're like, okay, those idiots. When, man, more like poop.
What are your solutions for this problem? And are you dealing with loneliness? And I will see you guys next time with a new video.
Good video, man. God, I went on a yap session on this one. Oof. This is a topic that I like to talk about, because it's an issue that's been very apparent for a long time now. And nobody cares about trying to solve it. Damn. Feels sad, man.